Hi guys, and welcome to my review of F1 2019 Round 15 Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Circuit. Number of teams like Sporting Point and Ferrari especially brought major updates to improve the downforce of the car because it's a very high downforce circuit, being a street circuit, with we were wondering, we all thought it was going to be a Red Bull Mercedes battle. By the time we got to the end of practice, we'd had Bottas in the wall in FP1, which knocked his confidence. And by the end of FP3, when they've done the quali ones, we've seen that the update that Ferrari have brought for both cars has been extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. And they were quicker. They were quicker than Mercedes and Red Bull. Qualifying was again because of the going on free practice. We thought even that Mercedes might have a little bit left in the locker. They didn't. Ferrari's update reduced the speed they needed, and they walked all over Mercedes again, like they did in pre-season testing. And we were wondering, where has this pace been all season? Where has it been? And Leclerc stole pole from his teammate on the last run because Vettel made mistakes in the last run. Hamilton crossed the line second with Vettel third. And the top three started evenly on the race. Albon got past Bottas into turn one. Vettel was crawling all over Hamilton, and Hamilton really had to defend down Raffles Boulevard into turn 7 to fend him off. And in the meantime, in midfield, Sainz had to pit immediately for a puncture due to contact with one of the Renaults, which I believe was Hulkenberg. Excuse me. So yeah, by lap 10, with the soft tyre not being very durable, Vettel was like one of the first of the top 4 or 5 to pit. We thought if this is a one stop, this is very early, very early. He pitted obviously for the hard tyres. He was going to make it a one stop, but it proved dividends in the end because by lap 21 he managed to close the gap down to Leclerc to be able to pass him through the pit lane, through the pit stops, which Leclerc was not going to be happy about. He made it very clear to the team that he was not happy, and he was hoping, and the team did let him race, but I'm sorry, Leclerc, if it was the other way around, Vettel would be moaning. It's racing. It's what happens, right? It's what happens. Strategy calls beat teammates. It's all part of racing. I'm sure he knows that, to be honest. So, but yeah. So, but obviously, in the heat of the moment, right, having the lead for so long, for 21 laps, in the conditions of Singapore, he wasn't going to be happy. Mercedes took a gamble and went long, longer than anyone else. And actually, if they carried on for several more laps, they would actually, because of the traffic of the Ferraris were stuck in, they could have easily jumped them. Maybe because the Delta was saying that the tyres wouldn't last. If that's the case, then fair enough, and it didn't pay off, and it was worth a try. And actually, even with several laps later, there was a safety car. So if they did keep it up for several more laps, with Ferrari struggling in the traffic and not closing the gap, they would have been able to jump. Both of them would have been able to jump both Ferraris into first and second and have track position for the rest of the race on fresher tyres. Luckily, they thought that with this gamble, Ferrari's tyres will go by the end of the race, especially like Vettel's tyres with 60, having to do 51 laps of a very long lap of Singapore. So, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off in the end, and they ended up finishing 4th and 5th. And but fourth and fifth behind both Ferraris and Max Verstappen, who managed to fight his way back from about 11th down, about midfield into the top three with brilliant strategy by Red Bull. Again, this probably shows that Mercedes strategies, yes, at times they have the times where they can be brilliant, and then very, very usually they have strategies which are odd and don't work. So, but yeah, an impressive battle in the midfield caused a number of incidents during the Grand Prix, especially when you got the front runners trying to get past him. Ricciardo got a buncher after hitting trying to do an opportunist move down Giovinazzi. It looked legitimate, to be honest, but yes, Giovinazzi squeezed him a fair bit, but he left the gap open, and obviously being a racer, you leave a gap open, go for it. So what's any? And Senna says when you go for a gap, you either commit yourself as a racing driver that is designed to win races, or you come third, you come fifth. As first, as the good old comment you used to say. And yeah, Russell went out when he thought he passed Grosjean, which he did, and Grosjean just wouldn't give it up. He just wouldn't accept he was beaten, and clattered Russell's rear, which put him in the wall. And I'm sorry, Grosjean, you should take the blame for that, right? Because he had done you, he passed you by then. So yeah, Stroll got a puncher, which sent him back to the 19th, and then 2 laps later, Perez retires on 2 laps later, making another safety car. And like last season, Racing Point's Singapore Grand Prix goes up in tatters. After what happened definitely last season, Perez doing I thought it was deliberate, because of frustration, deliberate takeout of Sirotkin, which actually backfired on him. And obviously Perez and Ocon colliding each other into the wall at turn 1. Obviously, the amount of safety cars made it more exciting, because you bunch the field up, then obviously the field has better chance of overtaking each other because they've closed all the gaps down. So there was a number of overtakes happening at the restarts, and it's who said you couldn't overtake at Marina Bay? Clearly these lot can, right? Obviously the front runners couldn't overtake each other. You had to have sort of a delta of around 2 seconds apparently to be able to overtake someone. And obviously with the midfield, there were some people doing different strategies, which meant they were much slower than the guys behind them, so causing the amount of overtakes. And again, another example, Raikkonen are out after contact with Kvyat, which looked like a legitimate move, and I don't think Raikkonen saw him coming, to be honest. He was very late, a bit like the nickname he got, Kvyat, from Vettel, the Torpedo. Which again caused another safety car, and then we were all debating, is it going to make to the end of the race, because it's usually so close to 2 hours without a safety car, and it only takes 2 or 3, 4 safety cars. Beforehand, in 2010, for example, it used to take 2 safety cars and that was it. It wouldn't last the full race. Now it's 2 or 3, it's about 3 or 4 safety cars because of the pace of the cars today, but it's usually, because of the safety cars, a 2-hour onslaught of temperatures, body temperatures of 41 degrees, cockpit temperatures of 50 degrees, keeping your mind focused whilst losing 2 to 3 litres of fluid in sweat. It's an almighty challenge for the drivers. Despite all the delays, the race, like I said, did finish on lap 61. But very close to the 2-hour limit, because you can have a 2-hour race racing time of 2 hours, winning a 4 hour 4 hour period. But yeah, in the end, it was surprising because of Ferrari's development, a surprising win for Sebastian Vettel. After 13 months of waiting, he gets his first win of the season. Lewis, but because Lewis again extended the gap because of Bottas and Leclerc now being level on points and him finishing ahead of Bottas. It's one of those. Is it too late? Is it too late for Ferrari to come back and win both the drivers and constructors? Is it? Or, because let's not forget, we've got now Russia, Japan, Mexico, Austin, USA, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. Got 6 races left. Is it a little too late? Or can they do the unthinkable and recover and win the title, which they've been showing the potential of in pre-season testing? We'll have to wait and see on that one. And the answer to my question that I gave you before in the preview, what was the nickname of Turn 10 before it was adapted for the 2013 Singapore Grand Prix? You have 3 options. The Singapore chicane, I think it was the Marina Bay chicane, or the Singapore sling. The answer is the Singapore sling. The reason because it was a little 3-way chicane with only one way to get through it. Literally only one way to get through it. If you took it slightly wrong, you would be lifted off by the curbs into the barriers. So slingshotted into the wall. Hence the Singapore sling. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.